A good midday Tuesday, Roger Hill with the VELCO Weather Hazards Outlook, looking at the big picture. We can see kind of a flat ridge of higher pressure with warm temperatures that continues to stream into the region. This is going to be pushing into even southeastern adjacent Canada. Back over here we have an Arctic front. This is what's going to move through during the night, Wednesday night. It's going to push on through and kind of accelerate and slingshot, and there's going to be some pretty good northwesterly gradient winds that'll interact with the mountainous terrain, and especially east of the Green Mountains there are going to be some impacts. This will be taking place Wednesday night and then off and on into the day on Thursday. You can already see where these northwesterly winds are starting to really push in, and also delivering a little bit of snow on the backside of this weather system. But out ahead of it, it's mainly going to be rain, a little bit of a channeling wind across the Champlain Valley, especially northern Lake Champlain. Looks like it stays below thresholds, but the main event here is going to be the northwest winds that'll shift and swing across the region. That happening Wednesday night into the day on Thursday. Temperatures are phenomenally warm out ahead of this weather system, and they'll continue to potentially produce some records today, some record highs, especially in the Champlain Valley, and possibly even east of the Green Mountains with mid to upper 50s forecast for today. Let's take a look at the modeling. We're looking at the temperature anomalies roughly at about 850 millibars hectopascals, about the top of Mount Mansfield. That's a slice of the atmosphere at that level. And what you can see here is real cold Arctic air that's going to be pushing into the region. Out ahead of it, very warm, anomalous, mild air. And indeed, this is valid at 1 o'clock this afternoon. So running the computer modeling, you can see how this is making some inroads here. This is our Arctic front. This is the temperatures that are above normal, crashing to much below normal. Quite the shift here, a big swing in temperatures, no doubt about it. And this is not going to last very long. This colder than normal anomaly, you can see, gets moved right out. This is the GFS ensemble on the right-hand side, the European on the left-hand side. This is the ensemble. But look what develops in its wake. You can see another major warm-up. And this is what's going to be hanging out over the northeast United States, northern tier regions. Looking back up to the north and west, it looks like they're trying to make some more colder temperatures to try to make it in some inroads here. But for the most part, it's going to take most of the time to get here, and we're going to see, if anything, above normal temperatures resuming. This goes into the 4th of March, early Monday morning, beyond the outlook period, and you can see just how warm it is. And eventually, some of that colder air is going to try to make a run into the region, but really never does. It looks like, if anything, temperatures remain a little bit above normal, and we'll take it about as far as we can go here. This is now on the during the 9th. Here's the 10th, and you can see that some of that colder air kind of makes it back into the western part of the U.S., the southern part of the U.S., but trying to make inroads here, it's going to take quite a while, maybe not even until mid-March before we see some cooler than normal temperatures make it into the region. That's a long ways out. And we have the European deterministic on this side and the GFS deterministic on the right-hand side. So running the computer model, you can see both are indicating that precipitation that makes it in here this evening. This is by about 10 o'clock this evening. And it does look like we're going to see a little bit of shower and, of course, cloudy conditions result for the next couple of days ahead of that Arctic front, which arrives not until Wednesday night. Precipitation-wise, it's not really significant. We're looking at probably the whole storm system melted somewhere around a half an inch. So it's going to be some snow melt in that warmer temperature zone before this Arctic front penetrates east and we start to end the anomalous warmth. We go the other direction, of course, but you can see the pressure gradient on the backside. We could see wind gusts anywhere from 40 to 55 miles per hour interacting with the Green Mountainous terrain, and especially in the eastern slopes, carried over especially into Windsor and Windham counties, but possibly even further up to the north. So any higher elevation locations are going to see some pretty good winds with this, and that's going to be some cold air advection and good mixing conditions that are going to last into the day on Thursday. Despite the fact that you see the pressure gradient slackening off, it's still going to be blowing pretty good into the afternoon hours. Eventually, all of that does fall off. A weak ridge of higher pressure is going to build into the region from a 1035 hectopascal high surface ridge, high pressure system off Delmarva. There's a little bit of a leftover frontal boundary. You can kind of see it right here. This is going to become a weak warm front, and it could bring us a little bit of flurry action. This would happen, it looks like, in the afternoon on Friday. That's going to move on out, and we start to warm it right back up again with anomalous warmth. Now, eventually, as we get into past this weekend, into Monday, we're going to start to see this system and kind of a flow that's going to be coming more or less out of the south and southwest. That's a warm feature for us, and also cloudier than normal and also rainier than normal, along with that mild condition. And it looks like well beyond the period, this is what we're setting up for, with the potential for some more Arctic air trying to penetrate in the region. This wouldn't be until the 7th or 8th of March, so that's a long ways off. And right now the GFS is not in agreement, so long ways off, take it with a grain of salt. This is the GFS ensemble looking at the plumes from center grid on Montpelier. And what you can see here is a little bit of rain shower activity, then the main front. This is the storm system, the anomalous warmth, and then that Arctic front then shuts everything down. We're looking at a pretty good stretch, and the European model is in pretty good agreement. This is Friday's little bit of flurry action. So the next setup is well around past next weekend going into next week. Looking at the total QPF, we're not looking at a tremendous amount here, generally around 5/10 of an inch, but we have quite the range here, so potentially there could be more or less. And with that warmer anomalous air, you can see that it's rain and then a change over to snow, then not a whole lot going on, and then it looks like we're back into more of the rain, potentially some mixed business as well on the backside. This is going in, of course, 5th, 6th of March. Now looking at wind, we're going to see some winds up around 50, 55 miles an hour, that low-level jet that's going to be streaming at us out of the northwest, and that's going to interact with our mountains. That's all taking place, of course, Wednesday night into the day on Thursday, and those winds do slowly ramp down. A little bit of a secondary uptick you can see here, but eventually those winds do calm down. In terms of precipitation, we're looking at generally around a half an inch. This is the 1 inch line, 1 inch up to the north, 1 inch to the south, a little bit less so across Vermont and portions of the northeast U.S. Of course, West Coast is getting inundated with another big-time surge of moisture here with these Pacific storms coming in fiercely. And you can see the warmer than normal temperatures across the southwest U.S. and then north and east. Colder than normal, working its way gradually toward Vermont, which will take place Wednesday night with that Arctic front. So, weighted temperatures over the next 5 days of high temperatures only. We're talking somewhere between 6 and 9 degrees above normal. And about 3 days later, it looks like this. How about that? 12 to 15 degrees above normal. And anomalous warmth that's going to last. It's not going to be a spike like the dip that we're going to see Wednesday night into Thursday in terms of colder than normal temperatures. If anything, it's outweighted much warmer than normal, and you can see the results here. That's it from here. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights. Thanks for watching.